And we're live now. Welcome to my good afternoon, good night good night. If you're watching from another country, welcome to my sports YouTube channel, CW Sports. When I do sports content, reviews of great athletes in boxing, football, basketball, and other sports. And every once in a while, I also do interviews with athletes and sports-related people. And for the first time, I have a boxing trainer, Paul Smith of Athena Empowerment, who's connected from England, the United Kingdom. So, Paul, welcome to my channel. Welcome to my space. A pleasure, and it's so good to have you here. How are you?
Yeah, good to be here. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good. Good. Glad I'm going to start this channel. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about where you grew up, and how did you start with boxing?
So I grew up in Nottingham, England. I don't actually come from a boxing background. I come from a Thai boxing background. So I was
Oh,
in Muay Thai, known as Muay Thai to a lot of people. So I lived on and off in Thailand for 10 years, training Thai boxing. And then the last 4 years, I switched over to amateur boxing. Did a lot of stuff in MMA as well, based in Nottingham. We had a club called Rough House, probably quite well known in America. It was where Dan Hardy, Paul Semtex Daly, Judo Jimmy, Michael Bisping all originated out of from the UFC. So we all trained together in Nottingham, and I branched off into amateur boxing, professional boxing. So currently been doing that about 4 years now. But I always boxed as a kid. So as well as the Muay Thai, I did the conventional boxing as well, jiu-jitsu, wrestling. So yeah, quite a varied background, but now I switched over to the amateur boxing side. And recently, in the last 2 years, specialised in female athletes.
oh, very interesting. So technically, like you never boxed, you did Muay Thai kickboxing.
Yeah. But as my knees got bad as I got older from leg kicks and stuff like that, I switched over to boxing. It was a lot easier on the body. So
Oh,
I finished boxing around, competing myself in Thai boxing around 21, 22. I'm 43 now currently. So I moved into coaching probably around 24, but I stuck with the Muay Thai and MMA. And then last 4 years I switched over to amateur boxing, but I always boxed training wise. Was quite lucky in Nottingham. Had some good boxing clubs, really good boxers coming out of Nottingham. Tony Lang, Kirtland Lang. Kirtland Lang boxed Roberto Duran and beat him. I think that was in the 80s, early 90s. And then recently we had Carl Froch, Lee Wood, most known in Nottingham now as Carl Froch, Lee Wood. Carl's now retired. Lee's still currently boxing. Won a couple of world titles. So yeah, good pro set. But so yeah, always boxed conventionally, but I actually competed in Muay Thai, not boxing.
okay. And do you know that how many Muay Thai fights you had?
Around 80, I think it was, on and off.
Okay. And so tell me, you say that you train in Thailand, Muay Thai in Thailand, right?
Yeah, so I trained in Bangkok at a gym called Sasi Prapia,
Wow.
quite a famous gym in Bangkok. Trained at Sit Palang out in Ayutthaya, which is the old Asian capital. It's about a 2-hour drive from Bangkok. And I also trained and lived with Namsak Noi over in Koh Phangan. So Namsak Noi, better known as the Emperor of Muay Thai. He was world champion for around 10 years, Lumpini champion. He boxed and beat Sang Chai, most of the top boxers. But yeah, Google him, Namsak Noi, the Emperor, probably one of the best Thai boxers ever. Well known for being a Muslim as well. Well
Okay.
known for Ram Mui.
Okay. So tell me, and what was it like to live in train in Thailand? Because as we know, England is one culture, and Thailand is a different one. It's a different culture. So what was it like to live and live in a country like Thailand? What was that experience for you?
So in the early days, it wasn't as luxurious as it was now. It was Sasaprapi was always quite a tidy gym, but when I went out to Sit Palang, it was quite a rundown. Very few bags, a ring, Sitpalang actually had a lot of orphan children that trained. So as you know, in Thailand, a lot of the kids they train to fight, to feed the villagers, look after the families, that kind of thing. Obviously, I was there just to train. But yeah, definitely in the early days, it was a culture shock. But now, as the years went on into the early 2000s, mid 2000s, you started to get more of your luxurious gyms that catered for foreigners, farang as they call us. But yeah, in the earlier days when trained at the Thai gyms, there wasn't very many farang as they call us, foreigners, white people. When I trained in Sitpalang, I was probably one of two white people training out there. So yeah, culture shock a little bit. A lot of poverty, still a third world country. So yeah, a lot of culture shock out there. And where I was in Sitpalang, it was predominantly a Muslim area. So you woke up to the morning prayer, that kind of thing. So yeah, very different to growing up in England.
Okay, and after Muay Thai, after you were done with Muay Thai, did you ever try to do a couple of amateur fights in boxing, or you just did
No,
Muay Thai?
never boxed. I mean, never boxed at all. It was just Thai boxing and a little bit of MMA. But say we trained with the Team Rough House. So say that's where Dan Hardy was from originally. Michael Bisping, Paul Semtex Daly, Judo Jimmy Warled, Dean Armorslinger, Andre Winner, Ross Poynton. So quite a lot of the original British UFC stars, which was where it really broke in England. But yeah, Nottingham was quite a breeding ground for the MMA scene, originally out of Team Rough House.
Okay, now that you're talking about you just mentioned British scene in MMA. Which like if you now you mention UFC, is there any UFC fighter or MMA fighter of England that you like to watch?
Yeah, so Michael Bisping and Dan Hardy that both used to train out of our gym. So Michael Bisping, obviously, one of the first British people to win a world title in UFC. And then obviously Leon did it from Birmingham. But yeah, Michael Bisping was like the front runner, wasn't it, for UFC in England. And I say Dan Hardy, Paul Semtex Daly, Ross Point and Andre Winner kind of followed suit afterwards. Then you started getting a few more. Leon Edwards coming through. So yeah, I'd say probably favourite British fighter in the UFC would have been Michael Bisping.
Okay, okay, and tell me, how do you make that transition of becoming a Muay Thai fighter to a boxing trainer? How did it happen?
My children, my son, he got into amateur boxing, so I started doing a bit with that. But like I say, I always trained boxing growing up. Trained out of Tommy Thompson's gym in Nottingham. It was quite a well-known boxing club. So even though I did Thai boxing, I always trained my hands. More of a Western style boxing. Yeah, I found it helped. A lot of the Thai style didn't really have a Western style of boxing. They had the long guard, obviously, so you could throw the elbows and clinching. So I just found a Western style boxing worked well. So I always boxed conventionally all the way through from probably 6 years old. I boxed, just never boxed competitively. So it's quite a smooth transition, really.
Oh, okay. And let's talk about the Athena Empowerment. How did it begin? How did it start? And how did it started with this idea of founding this squad or Athena Empowerment? How did it all started?
So just when I started coaching boxing, there wasn't a lot around for the women at the time. Obviously, female boxing's it's not new, but it's still fairly new. So basically, in England, so most boxing clubs are lucky to have maybe 1, 2 girls. Some clubs don't have any, but you tend to find that most clubs only have 1 or 2 girls, and they'll always be at different weights. So it's very hard to get sparring. So you always end up driving up and down the country, which what I was doing with a girl called Ellie Boutel. Was my first female boxer. She's now boxing professionally in China. She's currently the WBC Asian champion. So say she's living out in Shanghai. But when she was doing her amateur career, was just driving up and down the country, constantly looking for sparring. Like I say, it was very hard to get sparring not because there wasn't the girls, just everybody was spread out. So you was always driving and having to hit the road to get good sparring. So basically, I decided to start Athena as a charity, so we could put on free squads for people. and basically invite everybody from around the country to a squad once a month, where all the girls came so they could get good sparring all in one place. So that's where it came from originally. But just having that female boxer with no sparring on a doorstep and having to travel. So I thought, why not make a squad? And then everybody can come down once a month, train together and get good sparring. So, yeah, it just grew arms and legs from there.
Oh, okay. I see. That's a very good, like a nice act, like a good moment to help the girls and young women in boxing. But all this Athena's Empowerment, you did it your own, or you found it with someone with other people?
No, so I founded it myself. Got other people involved because it's a charity. We've got trustees, a couple of female coaches. So yeah, but predominantly it's me that runs it, organises it. So from going from a sparring squad, we started doing competitions, going internationally. So the first competition we did was a cup called Golden Girls. It's based out in Sweden. It's the biggest female box cup in the world, and it's held every February. So we started doing that. And then from there, we started doing other box cups in other countries around Europe. Female box cup in Latvia. That's a really good one. It's based in Riga. You get a lot of the Eastern Bloc girls. So Sweden, when you do Golden Girls, it tends to get the more Europe, like Germany, France, Sweden, Denmark, that kind of part of Europe. But when you do the Riga Box Cup, you get more of the Eastern Bloc. You get the Kazakhstans, Estonia, Poland, Russia, so them kind of places, Latvia, Czech Republic. So it's a really good one, that. So you get the Eastern Bloc style, get that Soviet style boxing, where Golden Girls is more of a Western style boxing of Europe. But really good. So we've just gone from there, then doing team matches with France. So a team from Athena, first team in the French national squad, just recently come back from California. I went out with a lady called Blanca. She runs a boxing promotion called Beautiful Brawlers out there. So we did it was her 12th show for Beautiful Brawlers, which was Team England versus USA. But it was Athena Select for England. So we had 12 bouts. But it was a really good experience. Great to go out to California. We did a lot of sparring when we was out there after the show. So yeah, it's just it's grown from there. So we started out as a sparring squad, but now we're doing a lot of international competitions.
Oh, okay. So you're saying that all of those fighters, those boxers, had a chance to compete in those countries that you mentioned.
Yeah, pretty much. So basically, what Athena was set up for was if you're lucky enough to box for your national team, you get those kind of experiences through your national team. So if the girls are lucky enough, they get to box for England, and then they'll represent the country. But obviously, there's only one spot at each weight. So even if the girls are good enough to box for England, they might not necessarily get the chance. So when we started doing the international stuff, it was to give those boxers that may never get to represent the country the chance to box internationally and box against other countries. Say most recently, we've boxed the French national team out in Paris, and then we just boxed an American team out in California.
Yes, I saw that you had the chance to compete in California in that beautiful Brawlers boxing car, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you can just see the
Yeah.
poster behind my head. That's
Yes.
for Brawlers.
Yeah. So tell me, how was that experience for you trying to have the chance of going to another country, a state, this time California, and with the boxing squad of Athena Empowerment? How was that experience for you?
Yeah, it was really good. The Americans were very welcoming to us. Did a lot for us. Blanca's been doing it a long time with her sister. Her older sister was the first Mexican WBC champion, heavyweight champion. So yeah, she's got a lot of experience, a lot of connections in the sport. So it's nice to go out there and meet her. So I say we boxed on Sunday, and then after that we had a 3-day sparring camp. So we got to go around gyms in California and spar the local girls. So yeah, it was a really good experience. Obviously, different style. Americans, the European style was more on your toes in and out. And the American style was a bit more standish, plant your feet and throw, a bit more, not brawling, but a lot more aggressive, I'd say, for the amateur style. That's the more kind of British style we'd have in professional boxing, not amateur. Say the amateur boxing in England and Europe tends to be very on your toes, bouncing in and out.
Okay.
So Americans were planting the feet and a little bit more on front foot aggressive. But overall, yeah, really good experience. And I say it was great making acquaintances and connections out over in America. And Blanca's well in with the WBC, so the WBC sanctioned the event. So yeah, it's really good. No complaints.
Okay. So tell me, in this case, when it comes to a boxing trainer, on this case of doing training with Athena Empowerment, what do you think is the hardest part or the most difficult part of your job?
Just keeping that regular good sparring for the girls and continuations of sparring. So, like I say, even though female boxing is growing, there's just still not a lot around. What we did find in America, they actually had lots of females, but obviously because America is such a big country, everybody's spread out, so they still struggle with the sparring and getting opponents as well. Like I say, from California to Vegas, somewhere it's an 8-hour drive, or whereas in England, you can drive from one end of England to the top end of England in 4 or 5 hours. So yeah, it's a lot easier for us than it was for those to get good sparring. But I say that the most difficult part is just getting that continuation of good quality sparring and not the same sparring all the time. So what you don't want to get is the girls just regularly sparring the same girls all the time. So I say that's probably the most difficult, to keep the sparring fresh and the opponents fresh, different people, different styles. And say that's one of the biggest reasons we started doing the international stuff, to get that different styles, because we don't just do the international boxing, we actually go out and do team squads. So we go to Ireland once a year to a place called Edenderry. A guy called Liam Morley. He's got a place out just outside of Dublin. It's purpose made for female boxing. So yeah, it's really good. We go out there once a year. It's got 2 rings, but you sleep actually in the gym. So just bunk beds. There's 4 or 5 rooms. So the girls all stay in the gym, and then a lot of the local Irish girls come. So you probably get 200 girls all in all every time we do it. So you get plenty of good quality sparring we normally do it over 3 days. So yeah, I'd say the most difficult thing is just keeping that regular good sparring. And we start to mix with the pro girls as well, where we can. So yeah, we've had some of the girls sparring with world champions like Nina Hughes. So yeah, it's good. But say that is the most difficult thing, just keeping that regular, continued sparring and competitive sparring.
Okay, so tell me, you know that, for example, here in the United States and probably other countries, some kids start fighting when they're like 9, 8, 7, or probably way younger. So how you have to be in, for example, in England to start competing at the amateur level?
So you have to be 10 years old to start, which is what we'd call minors. And then you can go into like more competitive, like championships from the age of 12, 13. You become what we call a schoolgirl. And then from a schoolgirl, you'll turn junior, then youth into seniors. But you can start competing at 10. But the championships ages would start in schools, which is around the 12, 13 mark. But I say you can actually box from 10 years old.
Okay, and they cannot start like younger than 10 because of for the safety of the fighters. So what's the reason?
So basically, England boxing won't insure anybody under the age of 10. So a lot of people in England, they do run younger classes, but they can't actually box competitively till the 10 and above. But you can actually have them in the gym training, but just not boxing and sparring competitively.
Okay. Okay, you mentioned the championships, and I know that there's like development championship, youth championships. So how is that what kind of championships are in the amateur level?
So in it, we've found a lot of the girls in America was like multiple like national champions, which is quite unheard of here, because we only really have one main national championships a year, whereas in America they tend to have them in every state. So there was a girl that we met out there. She calls herself Ladybug, great boxer from San Francisco. She's just recently won a 22nd national title this weekend, and she's 16 years old. You couldn't do that in England. It'd be impossible. You could maybe be a six times national champion by that age, but not 22 times national champion. So in the younger, when they're younger and they're progressing, we have what we call the development championships. For the girls, that's 0 to 10 bouts. So you can't enter that if you've had more than 10 bouts. So basically it's for the beginners championships. And then from there, you'll have your open championships, which is just one national championships a year. And that's open to, they do a schools national champions, junior, and then youth and senior. And then from there, if you box for England, they'll do the Euros for the same ages again, schools, juniors, youth, seniors. And then now it's changed to World Boxing from IEBA. World Boxing do various tournaments throughout the years, but as far as I'm aware, that's just youth and seniors for now anyway.
Okay. So tell me, I know that there in Europe they have the what is called the European Championship in that, if I'm not
Yeah, so
mistaken.
we've got a couple of girls from Athena that train and spar out of Athena that are going out to the Europeans this weekend. So the youths will be happening in the next couple of weeks. So we've got Tabiso Mario and Taika Thomas. They're both going out. They're flying out on Sunday, I believe. So yeah, the Europeans for the youths is about to take place in the next couple of weeks.
Okay. And tell me, how can a boxer in that situation can qualify for a European Championship or to compete in a European Championship?
So basically, if they'd win a national title, they'd get invited to an assessment day in England boxing, or they'd get straight onto an England boxing team. And then for the Europeans, they'd have an assessment day where all the boxers train, spar, and then they'll be selected from that to represent the country in the Europeans or any other competitions they do. They've just previously, the youth has previously just been out to Germany for a box cup out there. Again, Taika and TT both went to that. So yeah, they have lots of things, but there'll be a selection process for it. But to get there, normally it's by winning the national title.
Oh, okay. So tell me, how do you see the state of boxing worldwide? So how do you see it today?
What, amateur?
Well, you can say either amateur and professional. You can mention both if you want to. Both.
Yeah. So amateur boxing, obviously they just switched over from IEBA for corruption reasons, problems with judging, scoring, cheating, I've been led to believe. So now it's changed over to world boxing. So I think we're headed in the right direction, away from the corruption. Hopefully it stays in the Olympics. There was talk of it leaving the Olympics at one point, but I'm hoping it stays in. It's definitely in for LA. So yeah, I think we're moving back in the right direction.
Okay. And how do you see the sport of boxing in a professional level? How do you see professional boxing now? How do you see it?
I think it's very hard, especially for the girls. For the girls, again, you've got a lack of opponents. It's very expensive, so I'm not sure how it works so much in other countries. But in England, when you first start off professionally, you have to be able to sell tickets. So your tickets pay for your opponent and pay for your career, basically. But if you can't sell tickets, if you haven't got a big fan base or a following, you're really going to struggle as a professional in England, especially females, say, because you're very short of opponents, so it is very difficult to get the fights. And a lot of the time, the English girls, they end up paying for an opponent to come from Europe. And you're normally talking 5,000-6,000 sterling, so it's very expensive. And you even find a lot of the girls, they end up fighting for free for a long time, unless you're very lucky. A friend of mine, Nina Hughes, she managed to win a world title in 5 fights, so she did really well. But after winning that world title, she struggled to get an opponent. I think she went, was it 1 or 2 years without a fight after winning the world title. So it's very difficult for the females in professional boxing, unless you get a really big backer and a real big promotion like Matchroom or MVP. That's a new one. Jake Paul seems to be taking things forward. So it'll be interesting. I think Jake Paul's going to shake things up with the MVP promotions. I think your old school stuff like Showtime, Queensbury, and Matchroom are going to have it difficult now. Jake's on the scene. I think is throwing money at people, paying people what they deserve, basically. So yeah, I think MVP is going to throw a curveball in there somewhere. It's going to cause a lot of issues for the other promoters, I think, especially for females. He seems to be going after that female market. He's put together the last two Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor's. I know trying to get at the minute Chantel Cameron and Katie Taylor rematch. I think they're headed for Crow Park. I think Jake Paul's offered to pay for it. So yeah, I think starting out in professional, it's very difficult, especially for the girls. But hopefully Jake Paul's shaking things up for the girls and things will improve.
Yeah, we can. I know. Yeah, I noticed. Well, everybody can notice that Jake Paul is doing a lot for women's boxing. And now that we're talking about about that, how do you see women's boxing? You see it like growing. You see it improving in the last years, in the last decade. How do you see it?
So I think the last couple of years, it really grew, shot up, but I think it's stagnated a little bit now. So it became big. People was throwing money towards female boxing, trying to get good female boxers. But then again, I think it just stagnated a little bit because when you was getting those world champions, they was struggling for fights, struggling for funding, and I wouldn't say struggling for a fan base, but still wasn't as popular as male boxing, obviously. So yeah, I think it's dropped off again a little bit. But hopefully Jake Paul's changing that now. He's just he's signed a lot of the top girls now, especially over in England. He's snapped up most of the good girls out here. Chantel Cameron, Ali Scottney. Who else has he signed? I think has he signed Sky, and she's still with Matchroom. I'm not sure, but yeah, he's signing up everybody. Jake Paul at the minute. So yeah, hopefully he'll shake things up and they'll start getting paid the money they deserve and getting fights to deserve.
Okay, let me ask you something. Another question. Is there like any boxer, any women fighter that you like to watch? That you like?
I used to really like watching Nina Hughes because she was very aggressive. Nina won her first world title at 40 years old. So yeah, quite an achievement, but she was strong and aggressive. So I'd say Nina. Probably my favourite at the minute is probably Ali Scottney. Again, she's got a very aggressive style. I think she's 10-0 or 11-0. And I think she'll be the next undisputed female boxing champion. So yeah, really like her. Like Caroline Dubois as well. She's got an aggressive style. Daniel Dubois' sister. So yeah, I think some good girls coming through. And obviously Chantel Cameron again. Like Chantel Cameron, a nice aggressive style. Obviously, first woman to beat Katie Taylor. So that was a massive achievement. Hopefully we get to see the trilogy in that in the third fight. And Chantel can get her belts back.
Okay. Tell me, you mentioned you saw Katie Taylor and you saw that trilogy with Amanda Serrano. So what do you think of that trilogy? That was a very great and memorable.
Yes, I thought Amanda won the first one. I think the second one was closer. I think if Amanda Antas suffered that massive cut on her eye, I think she'd won that one because I think it was first or second round. I thought she nearly stopped Katie Taylor at the end of the round, and so then she suffered that bad cut, which held her back a little bit. I'm actually surprised the fight didn't get stopped on that cut. But the third fight, I don't think there was any doubt about it. Katie Taylor won that quite comfortably. She'd obviously done her homework off those last two fights. She didn't get, I think in the first two, she fell into Amanda's style and scrapped a little bit. Where in that third fight, she went back to a little bit more in amateur days, on the toes, in and out, not holding her feet, and just in and out and scoring and doing what she needed to do to get the win. But I think that third fight, she won it quite comfortably.
Oh, okay. So Tommy, so pretty much based on your transmitting your knowledge of your fighting experience, because even though you never box, you never competed in boxing, you competed in Muay Thai, and you know in Muay Thai boxing is included. But anyway, you're helping this. You're transmitting your fighting knowledge to these fighters, and you're helping them develop as amateurs and probably as pros. So, how do you feel the fact that you're transmitting your fighting knowledge and experience to these fighters?
Yeah, it's good. It's always I always prefer to see someone come from the ground up, from scratch. But it's also nice to see those boxers that haven't done so well come on as well. Like I say, the big thing in England, we haven't got that huge amount of female boxers, so you tend to see them struggling, and then when they start to come to the Athena camps and they start getting that regular sparring, you see them grow quite quickly and develop quite fast. And male boxing's probably a little bit more exciting because they're faster and stronger, and you get the knockouts. It's very, very rare you see a female knock another female out. So they don't carry the power men do. But it's getting more exciting. But one thing I would say, I find it a lot easier to train women than I do men. But you don't have that testosterone, that ego, the arrogance that tends to spill over sometimes in the male boxers. And I think you tend to find as well, because the females have got more to prove, they work harder and they listen more. So yeah, I'd definitely say it's a lot easier to train the females. There's a lot more to take into account with bodies and stuff like that and the way the females work, but I'd say they're a lot easier to coach.
Okay, and you mentioned that some of these fighters they had the chance to travel to tournaments in other countries, and
Yeah,
uh, and you go with them obviously, right? You go with them to those to those tournaments
yeah,
in those
yeah. We
countries.
travel together. Normally 2 or 3 coaches. We tend to work in a team of 12. Normally them around 12 girls.
Wow. Okay, so you pretty much you mentioned Latvia. What other countries you mentioned? You mentioned Latvia. What other countries?
Yeah, Riga. Yeah, it's a female box cup in Riga. I think they've done 4 now. So we've been to 2 of them. A really good box cup. So based in Riga.
Okay, but okay, you mentioned Riga in Latvia, but do you manage to travel to other to this with this this thing that you're doing with Athena Power besides Latvia? Do you manage to travel with the boxing squad to other countries? If to other countries you mentioned besides Latvia?
Yeah, yeah. So we've been to Latvia, Sweden, Ireland, France, uh, the Netherlands, and most recently California. So this year coming, we've got Sweden planned again, Riga planned again. We're also going over to Switzerland,
Wow.
Spain, back over to the Netherlands for a big box called, I think it's called Eindhoven. Might be wrong on that, but yeah, it's quite a big box cup out there. And then we're coming back to America in October, all being well. Going to box in California and Las Vegas.
Wow.
So got quite a lot coming up. Boxing in Spain as well. I'm going to be doing a team match with the Spanish national team. And obviously we're going back over to Ireland, but we're doing a round robin there. So it's going to be England versus France versus America versus Ireland.
Okay, so pretty much you had the chance, obviously, with the boxing squad to travel to other countries. You mentioned Sweden, Latvia, and probably Latvia. You mentioned Latvia, Netherlands, France. So with with your boxing squad, you managed to travel to other countries to try to know a little of cultures. So how's been that experience of being able to travel to other countries? And thanks to this job as a boxing trainer, to this job as a boxing trainer, and with this boxing squad, how's been that experience?
Yeah, it's amazing. I don't think you can get any better than going in, watching and learning other cultures, see how other countries do things, how they train their fighters. There's always a conflict in styles, like little things they do, we don't do. But yeah, it's always good to learn. But we don't just, when we go over, we don't just fight. We stay for a few days and get sparring with them. So we'll do the boxing match and then we'll have sparring camp for a few days as well. So yeah, it's really good. It's invaluable. I don't think you can get any better experience. And
Okay.
it's not just that, in boxing you're always learning. So as a coach, you're always learning, picking up things. I might see something the French do and think I'll steal that. See something the Germans do, I'll steal that. You take a little bit. Every day is a school day. You're always learning. Nobody's ever be a complete coach or a complete fighter. You can always learn. You can always pick up little things off other people.
Okay, so what do you like the most about your job?
Seeing the growth, seeing people go from like the bottom to the top. So just seeing that constant progression and seeing people achieve the goals. People come into it with a goal, whether that's a world title or just to have one fight or a few fights. Everybody's got those different goals. Some people might just come for the training, but it's nice to see people achieve the goals and be a part of that.
Okay, so tell me, what do you think should happen so women's boxing in amateur and professional can grow more and improve more, more support, more people seeing it? What do you think should happen?
I just think it's got to keep growing. More people getting involved, more people taking part. Obviously, the more people take part and get involved, the bigger the sport will grow. If it stagnates and women start to drop off, I think the sport will drop off. Obviously, male boxing is not going to go anywhere because just so many people doing it. But say female boxing, although it's been around a while now, it's still relatively new and just need that constant growth, constant girls coming into it. But I think it's getting that now. The Katie Taylor effect is massive. It's brought a lot of girls, especially over in Ireland. Had a massive thing in Ireland. The Katie Taylor effect brought loads of young girls over in Ireland. Say Ireland's probably got the most females in boxing, amateur boxing anyway. I say that's why we always do our camps there, because we get really good sparring out there. And there's plenty of female boxing in Ireland. So yeah, just that constant progression, constant growth. People coming into the sport. Well, females coming into the sport for the females to grow.
Oh, okay. And tell me, I have this question. In order to fight as an amateur, either where in England and probably other countries, do you need like to have like a license to box? How is it?
Yeah, so in England we call it a BCR1. So that's your coaching license. You have to have a medical every year to make sure you're fit to box. Medical females have to have a pregnancy card to say they're not pregnant. So yeah, there's a license. Every country has to have a license. Whether that's in the US, they had their licenses. We've just recently gone digital. So yeah, everybody has to have a license.
Oh, okay. And you mentioned that the Athena Empowerment Boxing Squad is having a tournament in the next weeks, right?
No, next one's in December. It's called the Female Winter Box Cup. That's based over in England. It's run by England Boxing, so that'll be our next tournament, which is the first week in December.
Okay. Okay. Another question. Is there any fighter that you like to watch in male boxing, in men's boxing?
Male.
Oh, se cortó esto. Oh, you there? Ah, it got cut. It froze. Wow, it just froze. Hey, Paul, I think it froze. Oh, man. You there? Ah, see, yeah, it froze. Yeah, I was having an interview with Paul Smith of Athena Empowerment. but I think unfortunately, it's like it froze. I don't know why. We're going to see. I'm going to see that if I can invite him back. I'm going to see if I can get him back because it was a good interview. But I'm going to see if I can see him. Wow. I don't like it when these things happen. It happened to me. It happened before. I'm going to see that if I can get him, I can get him back in. Wow. Oh yeah.
You see me
Yeah.
again, yeah? Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. There's
Yeah.
power went.
Oh
So
yeah.
I've had to change room. So yeah, going back to what you were saying, favourite professional boxer from now or in the past?
Which boxer you mentioned?
So the professional male boxer, did you mean past or present?
It can be anyone from the past, from the present, whatever you have, whoever you have in mind.
So I'd say my favourite heavyweight ever was Joe Lewis, the Brown Bomber. So he was my favourite heavyweight. I like the way his style, I liked his short, sharp uppercuts and power. But I'd say my favourite era was probably the Fantastic Four. So Duran, Leonard, Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearns, that era. I think that was my favourite. But all in all, I think definitely Roberto Duran. I think he was very underrated skill wise. I think a lot of people just thought he was a brawler, but he was a very, very technical boxer. So yeah, definitely Roberto Duran, I think.
Okay. And from the present, which one you like?
The most, Roberto Duran. He was my favourite.
Okay, that's from the past. But I mentioned from the past, who's fighting, who's from current fighter, who's present, who's fighting now.
Uh, Current fighter, uh, heavyweight, obviously, Usyk. He's probably the best now. Very slick style, very technical fighter. But I'd say best boxer right now for me, definitely Crawford. I just think he's very technical, can fight either style. I love switch hitters. I was a switch hitter myself. So yeah, I love Crawford at the minute, and I think he just did a great job on Canelo. Very technical, held his feet well, punished Canelo. I don't think people expected him to be able to hit with the power he was hitting Canelo with. I think everybody thought he'd just run and hit, but he stood in the pocket and he still moved and traded. So yeah, I think it was a masterclass. I can't see anybody beating him at the minute.
Okay. One more question. Of all the tournaments that you've been able to travel with the squad with the Athena Empowerment. Which tournaments were like the most memorable to you, or which one you to remember the most?
So I think tournament wise, so box cut wise, it'd be Latvia, just because of that Soviet style boxing. I really like that. But as a point of view, most memorable and enjoyable, I'd say the team match we've just done over in California. Uh, just memory wise, girls made a lot of memories, a lot of friends, and we're still in touch with the American girls. A lot of the girls still talking to them on Instagram and sharing each other's posts. So say it was only, I think, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, and we're already planning other trips. And say we've got the American team coming over, hopefully in June, but we're not going to box in England. We're actually meeting in Ireland at that gym I told you where we stay and spar, because it can accommodate all the teams. So that's where we're going to have America versus England versus France versus Ireland. So yeah, I'd definitely say the American trip's the most memorable one so far.
Okay. Okay, okay, because they were able to not only to compete, because sorry, they
No.
were to compete, but to like to make like new friendships or relationships in terms of friendship with these fighters from other countries, right?
Yeah, so I'd definitely say America. Definitely say America. The trip we've just done to California.
Okay, and how was that experience of going to California? Uh,
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, like I say, they treated us really well, looked after us, got great sparring, and say great connection, made good friends. So me and Blanca, the lady that runs Beautiful Brawlers, we're going to be doing a lot of work together now. And say she works on behalf of Team USA as well. She used to be part of the Olympic team. When now she's on the youth program, so she looks after the youth boxers. But she's basically doing what I'm doing here. So she's building the female boxing out in America at the amateur grassroots level, and she's just starting to take a few pro now as well, starting to get a little pro stable, and hopefully in the next year, 2 years, we'll start to develop a pro stable here at Athena as well. So still keep the amateur side obviously, because that's our grassroots and where it all comes from, but we would like to get a professional stable going as well, and we've made the connections over in America now to do that.
okay, and would you like to train or help one of the fighters to compete in a Olympic Games or World Amateur Championship, if it's possible?
Oh yeah, love to. I think there's a few girls with the potential to get there. Got a young girl called Brooke Matthews. I think she's 15, maybe just turned 16. Uh, she's doing really well at the minute, and she's got a girl in her gym, Triple A gym, Charlie. I can't remember her second name now. She's already been in the Olympics once and or twice, maybe. I think she's been twice actually. Definitely once, but she's aiming for LA as well. But yeah, I definitely think we've got some girls over in England at the minute training that will be at that level and hopefully go into Olympics in the future.
Okay, well, we can end it here. So, well, thank you for being my channel. Thank you for being in this
No
space.
problem.
Talking to
Thanks for
you,
having me.
and best of luck in the rest of your boxing career, boxing training. The best of luck in the rest of your career as a boxing trainer. And it was great talking to you.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Take care.
Okay, take care. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye. Okay. Uh, Subscribe to my channel so you can uh, watch more sports content and interview with athletes and sports related people, including boxing trainers like Paul Smith of Athena Empowerment.